Right now at 5, authorities arrest a travel agent in Miami, Oklahoma after a fraud investigation.
We've got another calm and somewhat cloudy start to the day. Thunderstorms a little more widespread by this afternoon. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, an update on swifter than usual currents facing visitors to southwest Missouri rivers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we started this day off with a very large spider.
Yes.
I'm sharing
you
that.
did.
Oh, yeah, you did not. I started the day off with a very large spider.
They love you here.
I don't know what
They really
because
do.
the feeling is certainly not mutual. I don't
They
do
can
bugs.
smell your
I don't
fear.
like them. That must be it. They smell it. This guy, I sit down, I'm getting ready to click on something, and then there he is right there in front of me.
He loves you.
He doesn't anymore because he is quite dead.
Well,
He is no longer with us. We will take a moment.
yes.
Remember the spider?
Silence. There
and
you
now we're going to talk about the thunderstorm chances we have. Let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. As you can see, right now in our immediate area, there is nothing. But if you look off to the west, over toward Hutchinson, that's where we got some showers. So let's take a little journey over here. We've got these showers and storms, no severe weather, nothing like that. There have been some stronger storms here and there, and that is a possibility for us today, as we could see a strong storm or two with maybe some small hail and gusty winds. We were talking about that yesterday. It's still a possibility. Now, these storms, believe it or not, they're moving about 30 miles an hour, and if they held exactly the way they are, they'd be in the Joplin area by 1:30. But it looks like this is all going to recycle and ultimately bring us better storm chances a little later. So here's a look at that future track, and I forgot to add a pause in there. I apologize, but it'll start rolling into our far western counties by mid-morning and be here about, say, 2, 3 o'clock, and eventually move into the Missouri side after 4. So we're going to keep an eye on the storms. Again, they're not anticipated to be severe, but a strong storm or two is possible. Again, with small hail, gusty winds is the primary concern. Temperatures around the area this morning, not bad. We are in the mid-60s. Just about all of us. We've had some cool starts here and there, but everybody a little bit milder out there. As we take a look at the rest of the day, again, I think most of us are dry through initially the morning hours, and then as we head into the afternoon, we're going to see those thunderstorm chances pick up out there. And we're looking at highs similar to yesterday, back into the low 80s, maybe some upper 70s here and there, with those thunderstorms increasing in coverage as we head through the evening and overnight. And by the time this main batch of storms gets here, there may be a pause or two, but we are looking at thunderstorm chances from this afternoon through at least Saturday morning. We're going to break down the details on all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes.
Chris, thanks. Well, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation has issued a silver alert for a Frontenac woman. Jean Marie Joyce was last seen in Frontenac, Kansas around 5:30 Wednesday evening. It is believed she walked away from the nursing home where she was staying. Joyce is a white female, 5'4", and weighs about 120 pounds. She has blue eyes with brown and gray hair. She was last seen wearing a pink jacket and jeans. Joyce does suffer from dementia. If you have any information regarding her whereabouts, you are asked to call the Frontenac Police at 620-231-9216. Emergency personnel respond to a fatal crash involving a trash truck yesterday afternoon in southeast Kansas. The crash occurred around 4:30 on private property between Galena and Riverton. According to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, 63-year-old Tyrone Palmer of Riverton was loading trash into a truck when the truck went into gear and ran him over. Palmer was pronounced dead at the scene. Next of kin have been notified. Authorities respond to a head-on crash in Joplin yesterday evening. It happened around 5:30 at Zora and Miller. A driver heading west experienced a medical emergency and swerved into oncoming traffic. The vehicle struck an SUV and then another vehicle head-on. 6 people, including 3 children, were rushed to the area hospitals. All 3 children were transferred to Springfield for a higher level of care. Authorities arrest a travel agent in Miami, Oklahoma after a fraud investigation. Diane Whifford has been recently scrutinized for alleged fraudulent activity. She's now behind bars, but for bad checks written in Taney County, Missouri in 2016. Whifford, who also goes by the last name Cott, was booked into the Ottawa County Jail yesterday after a traffic stop. She's being held with no bond. Whifford allegedly wrote more than $10,000 in checks that the prosecutor filed charges on nearly 8 years ago. Now, in a Miami police investigation, authorities believe Whifford's company, Whifford Tour and Travel, has taken payment from clients totaling tens of thousands of dollars. Authorities say the bookings aren't there when people show up because they never existed in the first place. Alexa Gilman of Webb City says she's out about $5,200 on a trip she was planning to take this summer.
It was on Facebook, a little ad that came through on my feed, and it caught my attention because the tickets to Disney were so cheap, and I've been like multiple times, so I knew this price was actually too good to be true.
On a gut feeling last week, she called to check on her Disney tickets and booked Airbnb she had already paid for through the travel agency. The Disney tickets didn't exist and the Airbnb was reserved under a woman's name, Diana Whifford. Gilman couldn't get information since the booking was not in her name. We have more on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Water levels have receded to the point where floating companies are putting people back on the Elk River. But companies continue emphasizing caution. Water levels are still 2 feet higher than before the Memorial Weekend storms. KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with businesses and people on the water.
Here on the Elk River, water levels have been receding to the point where floating businesses are letting people back out on the water. But you can see behind me, the river is flowing fast, and these rapids are a testament to how fast it's actually going. And it's still a concern for many kayakers and canoers. And businesses are warning that you need to stay safe while you're out on the river.
Definitely say have a good time, but definitely wear your life jackets. Wear your life jackets. And if you are not a good swimmer, definitely don't go floating when we're in flood stage levels. And definitely just look ahead. See what's in front of you. You know, there could be a log or anything that you do need to kind of steer around. So just look ahead and wear your life jacket.
Catherine Reeser, with 2 sons floating in campgrounds, says their company took a hit with the recent flooding, but waters are now low enough to put people back on the Elk. Now, not only is floating back up and running, but the campgrounds are now open as well too. Less than a week ago, this area was completely flooded and covered in water.
Safety is number one with us, and when the water starts rising like that, it's not safe to put on boats. So yeah, definitely take into account floodwaters when you go put your boats in.
Rietta Sadler, a Nixon native, made sure to do proper research before floating the Elk River.
Well, to start with, I've been tracking the river for a few days now. I have apps on my phone that track water levels, and I also have a bunch of Facebook groups that chatter on water levels and safety and stuff like that. So I did a lot of research.
Here at 2 Sons, they're going to give you all the necessary equipment you need to enjoy your day out on the river. Most importantly, a life jacket in case of emergencies. But you'll have your paddle and your kayak to enjoy and have fun. But it's also important to stay mindful and be aware of everything as you float so you can know what to do in case of emergency. Reporting in McDonald County, Missouri, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Research says if you're looking for a less crowded time to float, that weekdays are the best time to get out on the water. Before you get on the river, you can learn information about water levels on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Nevada Griffins began their 40th season last night at Lions Stadium. We'll have the details. Plus, a Chilean mother walked more than 800 miles to raise money for her sick child. And thunderstorms return. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Attention pool owners across the 4-state area.
Well, the Nevada Griffins began their 40th season last night at Lions Stadium and their 16th as a member of the Mink League, hosting the Chillicothe Mudcats, who are off to a 1-0 start to their season. Beautiful night for baseball in Nevada. Columbus native and Pitt State rising sophomore Cole Ungerauer gets the start on the mound for the Griffins. He gets a strikeout swinging in the first and then another in the second, but allows 4 early runs to score. His teammates' bats help the cause, though. In the bottom of the second, Carson Potter from Northern Iowa Area Community College gets things started with a double to the wall in left field. Later in the frame, Diego Flores, who just finished his junior year at Cal State University of Los Angeles, sends one deep to left as well. That scores a couple of runs and gives Nevada a 5-4 lead. Still in the second, Austin Ryder from Northern State University is going to smoke a line drive into left for another RBI. Runs galore in this game. The Griffins score 7 in the bottom of the second. A year ago, the Joplin Outlaws would have been playing the Griffins a bunch. Not anymore. Now that they left the Mink League for the Mid-American, they were on the road last night at Fort Smith. Plenty of runs in this one, too. Joplin led 11-6 in the 8th. Outlaws lose this one 12-11. Their home opener is tonight at Joe Becker Stadium. The CNC League releases its 2024 baseball all-conference teams yesterday. The first-team selections are on your screen right now. 5 players are unanimous first-team selections. Noah Harper from Riverton, Cooper Simmons and Gus Keller from Colgan, Peyton Gaines from Baxter Springs, and Zane Turner from Galena. Check out our website to see the second team and honorable mentions as well. And the CNC releases its all-conference softball teams yesterday as well. The 3A state champion Frontenac leads the way with 6 first-team selections, 2 of which are unanimous. Those are Avery Johnson and Abby Beeman. Columbus has 4 unanimous first-teamers: Gracie Major, Haley Ediger, KT Lopp, and Katie Simpson. For the second team and honorable mentions, of course, you can head to KOAMNewsNow.com/sports. Meanwhile, Diamond High School senior Caitlin Surrey is named the softball player of the year in the state of Missouri. According to Max Prep, Surrey was a huge part of the Wildcat State Championship. In the state title game against Kennett, she hit an inside-the-park home run to give Diamond the lead and extra innings and was the winning pitcher, striking out the final batter. Still to come, Florida is now the first state to allow doctors to perform C-sections outside of hospitals. Well, the latest on that. Plus, thunderstorm chances rolling into the area. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:18 on this Thursday morning. And as you can see right now in our area, there is nothing on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but your eyes are probably glancing a little to the left, and well, that's because we got some showers and thunderstorms just outside of Hutchinson. We have this complex of showers and storms. So now I'm going to be honest with you, because that's important in this business. There's some disagreement on exactly what's going to happen with these storms. Like I said, they're moving right now, or earlier this morning, they're moving about 30 miles an hour. You can see they are beginning to slow down. If they kept that speed, they'd be in our western counties by about 10 a.m. But it looks as though they're going to slow down a little more. They're going to go through a little recycling out there, and then eventually they will begin to roll into our area. Now, as we've mentioned, there is that possibility of a strong storm or two. So no areas highlighted for tornado threat, but we do have in our far western counties a low hail threat and a low wind threat out there. So some small hail, maybe some gusty winds with some of these storms if they get a little bit stronger. So let's talk about what we are looking at in terms of arrival times. Here we are at noon, just getting into Greenwood County, west of Yates Center. We have a few of these thunderstorms rolling in, and they will continue to slide off to the east. So by 5, they've now pushed through southeast Kansas and are into parts of Oklahoma, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, just outside of the Missouri side of things. And we go to about 7. Now right along, kind of sandwiched in between I-49 and US 69, that's stretching back across northeastern Oklahoma, we've got these thunderstorms, and we move to 10 o'clock. We still have these thunderstorms, still a few showers maybe in Parsons, parts of southeast Kansas, but the bulk of the activity almost right along Interstate 44. Then, do you see that swirling motion? See how these things start to turn around? Remember that low pressure system we were discussing yesterday? That's what that is. The wind flow around a low pressure system is counterclockwise. counterclockwise. As it gets closer, it's going to bring in the moisture and it's going to bring in storms, but they're going to be moving a little bit more unusually for us as we head into our Friday. So as you can see, they're now lifting from south to north. Here's that low pressure system just into northeastern Oklahoma, and as early as 5 a.m. as you saw, we're going to have scattered showers and thunderstorms out there. And similar to today, a strong storm or two is possible with maybe some small hail and gusty winds. But again, the best news here is we're not anticipating any significant severe weather. Almost looks like a hurricane. You can see the eye right where the low pressure is centered now, just to the west of Veneta into Newada County, and it will continue to bring showers and storms through the majority of the day Friday. That was noon. Here's 3 o'clock. Low pressure system continuing to lift off roughly north-northeast, and it will continue to move very slowly. Here we are at 6, still in our area. Now on the Missouri side, still dealing with some showers and storms, and then those will start to clear out late Friday. There's a remote chance of maybe a stray shower or storm early Saturday morning if that low pressure slows down. Otherwise, we'll clear out for Saturday ahead of more storm chances heading into next week. 66 in Joplin right now, and as you can see from our camera at 7th and Rangeline, it is partly cloudy, southeast breeze at about 9. We are in the low to mid 60s, even some upper 60s, so just 60s in general out there, so a fairly decent start to the day, just a wee bit above normal. As we head through the morning, we'll initially be partly cloudy ahead of those thunderstorms out to the west, 77 by 11 o'clock this morning. And we're looking at highs similar to yesterday's. We go low 80s. Clouds increase by noon. And again, our far western counties, that's where we start to see these showers and storms. And they'll continue to increase in coverage as we head later into the afternoon and evening hours. Scattered showers and storms through the evening and overnight hours as well. And as you saw, as this first batch rolls through, there will be a little bit of a break. And then more widespread storms come in. Lows once again back into the low 60s tonight. As we head into our Friday, again, storms, maybe a few isolated morning storms Saturday. It clears out. We're mostly cloudy, 80. Thunderstorm chances return Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're still keeping an eye on the possibility of some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms on Monday, so we'll monitor that for you. Otherwise, once we get through that, take a look at those temperatures. It will certainly feel like June as we go into the upper 80s. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, Florida is the first state to allow doctors to perform C-sections outside of hospitals, but that doesn't mean they can happen just anywhere. The law allows for advanced birth centers where physicians can deliver babies vaginally or by C-section to women deemed at low risk of complications. Women would be able to stay overnight at the clinics, and only patients with in-network insurance can be treated, and emergency walk-ins are not accepted. The law also requires these centers to have a transfer agreement with a hospital. Proponents of the measure say it will lower costs and give a homier birthing atmosphere, but critics argue it could increase risks if complications arise. Nearly 1/3 of U.S. births occur via C-section. An estimated 1 in 13 children have food allergies in the U.S., and nuts can cause some of the most dangerous allergic reactions. But a new study suggests a way to help reduce the risk of nut allergies from ever developing in a child. Mandy Gaither has more on what parents should know.
It's a potentially life-threatening allergy. Nuts can impair breathing and send the body of a person allergic to them into shock. While there's no cure for food allergies like this one, a new study suggests peanut allergies can be avoided by feeding children peanut products when they're infants.
Not only does that prevent peanut allergy in early childhood, but that effect is actually persistent.
Dr. Drew Bird with the American Academy of Pediatrics, UT Southwestern, and Children's Health recommends parents give peanut products to children starting between 4 and 6 months of age.
That effect of giving that frequent exposure to peanut early in life was really persistent and effective, and really saved many of these children who were at high risk of having peanut allergy from having that lifelong disease.
Bird says parents should start children on solids like soft or pureed fruits or veggies. Once they can tolerate that, move on to thinned out peanut butter.
Mix it with either breast milk or water or the child's formula or a vegetable or fruit puree, and get it really soft and soupy. So I like those stage 1 consistencies that we feed our children.
Bird says to start small and gradually increase the amount. Researchers recommend parents work up to 6 grams of peanut products every week until the age of 5, but consistency is key.
Once you get it in there, keep it in the diet, and that it can have really lifetime benefit.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Bird says there's also peanut flour in snacks like peanut puffs that can also help safely introduce infants to peanut products. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got some clouds beginning to gradually increase this morning ahead of thunderstorm chances. The latest on that when we come back.
Against veteran suicide. Contact Scotty at Charlie 22 to learn about impactful partnerships.
Right now at 5:30, Freeman Health in Joplin hosted its annual Health and Resource Fair.
I got a pretty decent start to the day so far. Thunderstorm chances returning as we head into the afternoon. The latest on that forecast to get you out the door coming up.
Plus, an area sheriff's office urges people to use 3 words in the case of an emergency.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got, well, it's Thursday.
Yes.
This whole week I have not been here.
It's been a little wonky. Yeah.
It's been a bit off. So if you guys at home have noticed anything strange about weather forecasts for me in the morning, it's because it's like I'm not really here.
It's his Friday.
It is my Friday.
We'll give you some.
It's just been an odd week. I don't know if I've consumed more coffee than usual, less coffee than usual. So it's always the coffee. There's never a good balance. You can't balance
it. Really
it.
is.
It's got to be the coffee. It has to be. Well, the coffee, not necessarily responsible for rain. It's responsible for many other things, being caffeinated, for example, but it is not responsible for rain. However, Mother Nature is, and right now, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear in our immediate area. But as you can see off to the west, we have showers and thunderstorms, and these are gradually slowing down. Some of them may die out a bit, but we'll get redevelopment along this as well. And as this boundary gets a little closer to us this afternoon, that's when we're going to start to see our storm chances kind of pick up a bit. So here we are at noon, just starting to enter our far western counties. And then by 2, you can see we've got thunderstorms beginning to roll through the area. And some of these could be strong with maybe some small hail, gusty winds out there, but we're not expecting any kind of significant severe weather. And these will continue to slide through as we head through the evening hours out there. Now, as you can see, some of us will get a break in this activity, but then more widespread showers and thunderstorms will return as we head into the overnight hours across the area. Temperatures this morning, we've got low, mid, and upper 60s, so we've got 60s out there. Not a bad start to the day otherwise for us. And as we take a look down the road again, scattered showers and storms start working their way in by this afternoon. Highs today similar to yesterday, up there in the low 80s, and we'll see those thunderstorms become more widespread as we head later into the evening and into the overnight hours. And again, no severe weather expected, but a strong storm or two, maybe some small hail, gusty winds is possible. We're going to break down details on our thunderstorm chances today, our thunderstorm chances tomorrow, and thunderstorm chances as we head into next week as well, with that full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. Mowing season is underway, and that means MoDOT mowers are hitting the highways. So be on the lookout when you're on the road. The mowers move slowly, about 2 to 5 miles per hour, but they usually have a follow truck with them to alert you of the mower ahead. MoDOT is asking drivers to slow down, be prepared to stop and wait, and to focus on the road.
Most of the time our mowers will be off on the shoulder mowing, but when they do come to a bridge or an overpass, they do have to come out into the roadway to go around that. When we are in that situation, we will have a protective vehicle like this one with a TMA or crash cushion on the back of that. Just be alert, make sure that you're looking out for our folks. They're very visible, a lot of lighting.
Grass or weeds blocking visibility at intersections along state roads by calling MoDOT's 24/7 customer service line. That's 888-ASK-MoDOT, or you can report it on MoDOT's website. Freeman Health hosted its annual health and resource fair yesterday. Area seniors could receive a springtime health checkup. The public event also gave residents an opportunity to meet with Freeman providers and receive preventative guidance.
It comes once a year, and I love the turnout. This is a wonderful combination of vendors and Freeman people, and then the public and my Freeman Advantage members. So it's an exciting place to be today, obviously.
The Come and Go event also featured informative presentations, interactive booths, giveaways, drawings for door prizes, and a free breakfast. The Carthage Public Library teamed up with the Red Cross to celebrate a fine forgiveness event. The event marked the first blood drive hosted by the Carthage Public Library. Every patron who gave blood at the event had all of their overdue fines forgiven. If the patron was listed as the parent of a minor child, that child's overdue fines were forgiven as well.
And you're not prepared for that a lot of times when you go in for surgery and they come to you and say, Julie, we need to give you blood. Will you give consent for that? Sure. I'd never donated blood before. But once you need that to survive, you really understand and you're willing to give to others.
Anyone unable to attend this fine forgiveness event or was unable to give blood can expect 2 more fine forgiveness events before the end of the year. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office announces a new program in partnership with What 3 Words. The What 3 Words program provides users a simple way to communicate their precise location in the event of an emergency. While authorities say What 3 Words is not a replacement for 911, it is an option to obtain emergency services.
One of the greatest features of the product, What 3 Words offers offline mapping. So being in a rural county, farm areas, mineland wildlife areas, a lot of times citizens don't have service, but they're still able to access the What 3 Words map and give us the 3 words in the square so we can find a precise location where they're at.
The What 3 Words app is free and available on iOS and Android devices. Attendance numbers during Memorial Day weekend broke records for Pittsburgh's Aquatic Center. The pool manager says pool staff are hyper vigilant for water safety as well as skin protection. The Aquatic Center will provide sunscreen to people who need it, and they want visitors to have fun cooling off while also staying mindful of their health.
Burns your skin and it can make you have sunburns, so make sure you guys always bring sunscreen.
Sunscreen is good because you don't get burnt on your skin. That's why you need sunscreen.
Because you get blisters and you turn really red and no. Yeah.
Some sound advice. We'll hear more from pool visitors when the KOAM Morning News switches on over to Fox 14. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A volcano in southeast Iceland has begun erupting with lava shooting up into the air. Plus, Israel's military says it has seized control of a strategic corridor running along the Gaza border. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, a Chilean mother walking more than 800 miles. 32-year-old Camila Gomez's journey is all part of an effort to raise money for her 5-year-old son, diagnosed with a genetic muscular dystrophy disease. More than a month-long trek to the capital of Santiago has been closely followed by Chileans. The drug used to treat the condition cost more than $3.5 million. Yesterday, she arrived and met with the president of Chile. 4 days before her arrival, she managed to raise enough through donations to take her son to the U.S. for treatment. A volcano in southeast Iceland has begun erupting yesterday. Aerial footage showing lava shooting up into the air. The Icelandic Meteorological Office saying some shot as high as 160 feet. This marks the 5th eruption from this same crater in 3 months. The volcano is located northeast of Grindavik, a coastal town about 3 miles southeast of Iceland's capital. Iceland's Blue Lagoon, a top tourist attraction, had to be evacuated and remains closed. Still, Iceland's main international airport remains open and flights are still arriving and departing. Israel's military says it has seized control of a strategic corridor running along the length of Gaza's border with Egypt. The revelation comes as a senior Israeli official says the war with Hamas is likely to last through the end of the year.
In an unexpected announcement, Israel's national security advisor said the war in Gaza will continue for another 7 months. This as top U.S. officials are urging restraint from the Israeli military as it continues to operate in Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah, and for their counterparts to develop a plan for when the war is over.
In the absence of a plan for the day after, there won't be a day after. If not, we'll have chaos, lawlessness, and a vacuum.
With international pressure growing on Israel, the country has maintained a mixed relationship with the Biden administration. But Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is not without friends in the U.S. Today, he met with Senator Lindsey Graham, who pledged U.S. support for Israel as the International Criminal Court pursues an arrest warrant for Netanyahu and his defense minister.
I promise you that we will do all we can, Mr. Prime Minister, to hold the ICC account for this outrage against the people of Israel.
As Israeli troops operate in Gaza, today capturing the Philadelphia corridor that sits along the border between Israel and Gaza, there is a renewed focus on support for Palestinian civilians, an effort that suffered another setback when the U.S. was forced to stop aid deliveries to Gaza by sea, as the $320 million American floating pier was rendered inoperable by harsh weather conditions. The Palestinian Authority health minister on Wednesday called on the international community to step up pressure on Israel to open the Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt, an area that is now controlled by Israel.
I would expect that all our friends and the international community to press hard.
Dark smoke could be seen rising from Rafah Wednesday as reports say Israeli troops are now fighting in the center of the city.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture.
So-and-so would have been here today.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 545 coming up now on 546 on this Thursday morning, and the Skywatch Storm Tracker is where we are starting. And again, in our area, it is clear, and it is expected to remain that way for the next few hours as we await the arrival of this complex of showers and thunderstorms out to our west. Now, nothing severe with this activity, but you can see quite a bit of lightning out there, kind of like those storms we had a couple of days ago. They were isolated, but the ones that we saw produced a lot of lightning, so we do want to be careful with that. There is that possibility of a strong storm or two. We don't have any areas highlighted for a tornado threat, which is great news, but we do have a low-end hail risk and a low-end wind risk in our far western counties. So again, a stronger storm or two possible, but at this point, we're not anticipating any kind of significant severe weather. What are we expecting as we head down the road? Well, this little friend, the Future Track, has the answer for us. By about noon, we should see that complex start to enter our far western counties, so just outside of Yates Center, getting into Greenwood County. As we go to about 2 o'clock, you can see that this line of storms advances, and we head a little later into the day. Here we are at 5. It is now into southeast Kansas, northeast Oklahoma, and you can also see it's taken on kind of this elongated shape here. So clearing out behind it, at least temporarily, into southeast Kansas, but northeast Oklahoma, you've got a batch of storms that's going to extend back to the west. So you'll be dealing with showers and storms longer than most of your neighbors. By 7, it's crossing the state line. It's now kind of sandwiched in between I-44 and US 69, and then again stretching back through northeastern Oklahoma. And then we start to see the redevelopment taking place, and we'll see additional showers in the southeastern Kansas. By 10, though, we've got the main thunderstorm complex right along I-44, and then see how it suddenly takes a turn back to the northwest? A little unusual for us to have storms move that direction, but see the wind arrows also switch around. That low pressure we were talking about across Oklahoma is going to start to gradually make its way up here as we head into Friday. So that's going to bring us more widespread thunderstorm activity throughout most of our Fridays. This is 5 a.m., showers and storms for most of us to start the day. By 10 a.m., even more showers and storms out there, and see that low pressure getting a lot closer. It's now centered just outside of our immediate area, in between Veneta and Tulsa. Again, no severe weather is expected with this, but a strong storm with maybe some small hail, gusty winds will be possible. This is at 10 a.m. Then we go to noon. Low pressure system moving into our area now right over Craig and Nowata counties in northeastern Oklahoma, continuing to bring more widespread showers and thunderstorms out there for the rest of us. It almost looks like a small hurricane, but it is just a low pressure, and this is it continuing as it cycles now right on the Kansas-Missouri border by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Still showers and storms, and then it will gradually lift off to the north and east and eventually make its way out of here as we head later into the evening. Now there's the possibility on the wraparound side of this early Saturday morning. We're talking before 6 a.m., maybe even earlier than that. There could be an isolated shower or storm for some of us as this system wraps around and eventually exits out. But the rest of our Saturday looks dry. Got a few clouds out there this morning from our camera, 7th and Range Line, 66 in Joplin, southeast breeze at 9. Humidity is up there at 78%. Dew point's up there a bit too, 59. So we got just enough energy for some thunderstorm activity. Temperatures across the region this morning, all of us sitting into the 60s. We've got low to mid and then mid to upper 60s across the area. Then as we head through the morning, again, initially we're partly cloudy, we're dry, and we'll be about 77 by 11 o'clock. And it will be this afternoon we start to see those showers and storms roll in. Highs today going into the low 80s out there, back into the 60s tonight, low 70s tomorrow because of all the rain, and then more again AM storms on Saturday, 80s, and we'll see more thunderstorm chances Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we're also keeping an eye still on Monday for the possibility of a strong, maybe low-grade severe thunderstorm out there. So we'll continue to monitor Monday for you. That's a check of your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
The saying, "It's not how you start, but how you finish," applies to a high school student from Pennsylvania who is graduating this spring. Jaden Alston once struggled academically, but turned his life around. And over these past couple of months, received acceptance letters from 20 colleges. Madeline Wright has more on what helped Alston succeed.
For Upper Darby High School senior Jaden Alston, track has helped him overcome life's hurdles.
It taught me discipline and a hard work ethic, and it taught me that I need to strive to do more and become a better person.
On and off the track, the star athlete is always pushing himself to the next level, but his journey hasn't been easy.
In elementary school, because I was struggling to pay attention, I was failing most of my classes.
Because of his low grades, he was placed in special education classes.
I felt hopeless at the time, and I felt as if I had the world against me.
But his course changed in 8th grade. With the support of his parents, teachers, and mentors, Jaden studied harder, making the honor roll every semester of high school.
I'm proud of you, man.
Jaden's dad is filled with pride.
At the end of the day, I'm just so happy for my boy. If you know Jaden, you know Jaden is a really good kid.
Track coach Kelsey Bierling has seen the transformation.
He just blossomed over the last 3 years, and it's just been so nice to see.
University of Pittsburgh.
Jaden was accepted to 20 colleges that offered him a combined $1.4 million in merit-based scholarships over the course of 4 years.
I'm just super happy, super excited.
Jaden is planning to study business at Westchester University. The honor student offers this advice to other students facing a challenge.
Always stay resilient and keep pushing.
Keep pushing toward bigger goals.
Alston was a member of 3 honor societies during his senior year. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Be a Girl Scout.
Uber Eats is launching new features to help customers with food allergies have an easier experience ordering food. The company announced the new features Tuesday, and restaurants will now be able to disclose to customers if they can accommodate food allergies. Customers will be able to write their food allergy related need in a new special instructions field. There will be a list of common allergens for customers to choose from and save to their profile. And lastly, depending on whether the restaurant receives calls, customers will be able to contact them to disclose their food allergies. And if you didn't get to sip on a mint julep drink watching the Kentucky Derby earlier this month, maybe now's a great time because today is National Mint Julep Day. The drink combines a mint leaf, bourbon, sugar, or simple syrup, water, and ice to make the Kentucky Derby favorite. And the cocktail is believed to have ties to the southern U.S. dating back to the 18th century. If you're ready to celebrate this refreshing drink, don't forget to use the hashtag Mint Julep Day when posting on social media.
And at least through the morning hours, it'll be a good opportunity to possibly enjoy a mint julep because we're expected to stay dry, partly cloudy skies, 77 by 11 o'clock this morning. But we got showers and thunderstorms out to our west. There is, I'm going to be, again, perfectly honest with you, some uncertainty as to whether or not these storms hold their own and pick up some speed. If they do, they'll get here a little earlier. If they slow down or if they kind of die out and start to recycle, then they'll be here when we're really expecting them to be here, which would be about noon, a little later. Highs low 80s, and then the thunderstorms will become much more widespread as we head through the late afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours. No severe weather expected, but a strong storm with some small hail, gusty winds will be possible. We're back in the low 60s tonight, and thunderstorm chances continue overnight. Thunderstorms throughout the majority of our Friday, and they could even linger into very early Saturday morning. It'll be mostly cloudy Saturday, but dry. Thunderstorms return Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We are keeping an eye on the possibility of still some strong to low-grade severe storms on Monday. And then outside of that, take a look at those temperatures. June arriving, summer arriving in a way, as we see a lot more upper 80s next week. That is a check of your forecast. We've got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Stream KOAM News now on the TV app.